Hi everyone, Stanley Ipkiss here with Rhyme Signatures, the nerdiest music review this side of it being party time. P-A-R-T-Y, because I gotta. And today we're going to be doing a review of the new Sleep Token album, Take Me Back to Eden. We really are living in the most mysterious of times, aren't we? Mere weeks ago I looked at the utterly fantastic Of Golden Verse, right there, by the masked and anonymous sermon fronted by the enigmatic hymn. And now I find myself staring down the barrel of the even more unusual and reserved Sleep Token fronted by the enigmatic vessel. I mentioned in my sermon review how rock and metal seems well suited to attracting this kind of theatricality and stage presence, and if anything, Sleep Token have embraced this kind of role-playing to its natural next step of evolution. Having only ever given one interview in the band's career, Sleep Token have kept their real identities shrouded in a cloak of their own lore and narrative background. I won't bore you with the details, there's plenty of Sleep Token faithful out there who know a great deal more about this band than I do, and frankly I dread the idea of getting it all wrong and having the fanbase mercilessly tear me apart in the comments section of my own video. The band have been very much following in the popularity footsteps of similarly disguised rockers Ghost, carving out a bizarre but cult-like following from thousands of enamoured fans who buy into the bravado and commitment to the bit. At this stage though, unlike Tobias Forge, Sleep Token have resisted the efforts to have the veil lifted, and Vessel remains as hidden from the real world as is possible, which honestly makes the entire thing, really quite entertaining, and I sincerely hope that they are able to keep their anonymity as long as they are able, before the inevitable fame and popularity wipe away all sense of disguise and fun, as so often happens. So anyway, for the uninitiated, just what is Sleep Token? I mean, all pomp and stage presence aside, they're obviously a band and obviously releasing music, with Take Me Back to Eden being the band's third LP, following up from 2021's This Place Will Become Your Tomb and 2019 debut Sundowning. This is not my first rodeo with the band, as I checked into their sophomore when it came out, but I'll be real with you all, it didn't really grip me that much. I mean, Vessel's vocals were fantastic and an obvious draw, but I don't know, there was just something wasn't quite doing it for me, and for the life of me I could not figure out what it was. But enough of that wittering. What kind of music is this? I mean, my thumbnail has these guys listed as progressive metal, ? But I'll be honest with you guys, Sleep Token are an entity unto themselves, for better or for worse. If I was to break down this into a mishmash of applicable genres, I'd say you've got metal, rock, R&B, pop, electronica, singer-songwriter. It's a huge melting pot of virtually everything you can imagine, all cast into one singular, monolithic edifice of barely classifiable music. More so than ever, Take Me Back to Eden has the band reaching out with their unique genre-switching blend of remarkable music, and regardless of your own personal tastes, you're likely to find equal measures of things you'll love, things you don't care about, and things you'll hate. Which makes this album one of the most fascinating, frustrating, and entirely incomprehensible things I've listened to in a very long time. And I still don't know if I love this and want to protect it from anyone who would slander it, or if I just want to throw it to the wolves and let them do whatever wolves do. Possibly to their benefit, the band did have the good nature to release a full half of the album as singles prior to the launch, as there is not a single song on Take Me Back to Eden that accurately summarises the overall sound of the record. Opening track Chokehold ducks and dives between these Imagine Dragons-esque vocal runs and atmospheric pop-inspired background effects to gnarly, stank-faced, genty breakdowns and aggressive guitar work. It's honestly about as close as you're going to get to a vibe check, but even then the album doesn't subscribe to any kind of guidelines or rule set when it comes to style. You've got tracks like Aqua Regia, which is pure unfiltered pop and not unlike something that you'd hear on the radio or being played in a stadium to thousands of people, not to sweaty closeted nerds such as myself who fear the sun's rays and the pathways of the mainstream. But of course, just 2 tracks earlier we had The Summoning, which sees Vessel delivering powerful, banshee-like screams against huge, booming, down-tuned, sludgy riffs. And that song in itself also has these angular contrasts of soaring, beautiful, melodic, clean vocals against the raspy shrieks, and it all sounds like they're being raised up on the backs of angels themselves. If you're not getting the point I'm making yet, it's that Take Me Back to Eden is a remarkably varied album, displaying just about everything, including the kitchen sink, in terms of its overall musicality and vocal diversity. This, I find, is both its blessing and its curse. Now, I love a record that takes me on a journey and really shows off the versatility of the artist, and you can't fault Sleep Token for that here. You honestly never know where this album is going to go next. Even within individual tracks, it is impossible to predict what Vessel has got cooking up over the next interlude. But it can also be a little bit frustrating. It's a very up and down, left and right, and loop-the-loop across the record kind of flow, which comes in at a lengthy 64 minutes. You can't ever relax or get into a particular mood or feeling with this album, as Vessel is forever changing course, forever changing the rulebook along the progression of the record. I often gravitate towards a band because I know what kind of mood they're going to satisfy for me. I'll listen to Periphery if I want big, genty breakdowns. I'll listen to Enslaved if I want black and wintry atmospherics. I'll go for Catatonia if I want emotional sad boy vibes. Or I'll listen to Elder if I want sludgy, spacey, riffy expanses. With Take Me Back to Eden, I feel I can't listen to the full album for any particular mood, given that there is so much on this that is so tonally counterintuitive to the rest of the album. Vor is one of the most savage, brutal and evil sounding songs in the band's catalogue, but then 2 songs later Vessel belts out one of the most beautiful, heartfelt and emotional suicide prevention songs I've ever heard with Are You Really Okay? These songs, taken as individual moments, are genuinely really quite excellent for the most part. I just find the way they all fit together as an album somewhat disjointed and confusing. It's like going on a roller coaster down to hell one minute before you crash land in the world of puppies and bubblegum. I mean, okay, sure, this is likely 100% to be the appeal of Sleep Token for many people, and I think I get it. I mean, I'm not sure if I do or if I don't, which is what made this such an interesting record for me to review and analyse. So often I will get an album that I immediately know if I love it or not, or if it's going to be one that I need to take a while to figure it out. But Take Me Back to Eden bluntly refuses to sit still for me. There are some jaw-dropping moments on this album. Vessel's vocals are stunning throughout. Their sonic variety is unlike anything else, sounding equal parts demonic hell beast 1 minute and then the boy next door a heartbeat later. The riffs are huge, easily matching the best of modern progressive metal, and the pop and R&B influences are tastefully done, never feeling like they're pandering too much to the mainstream, but managing to stay outside of the realms of meandering without a purpose. The lyricism is fantastic on Take Me Back to Eden, and you can really feel the benefits that the anonymity Vessel has embraced has given to the prose found within this record. There's so much soul-bearing, so much delicate intimacy to some of these tracks. Ascensionism, Are You Really Okay?, the title track and closing song Euclid all stand out to me from a lyrical perspective, and it's fascinating to see just how much an anonymous person can display their fullness and their everything without fear or holding back. There is no better catharsis than expressing your feelings with words, and Vessel's anonymity has allowed them to sound out in full, giving us the truest representation of their shrouded self that they can, serving in part as the most of their identity as they are willing to display to us and possibly ever will. I mentioned earlier that the band released a full 6 of the 12 songs here as singles, and while I feel that those songs do represent a good spread of what you can expect from the album, it's the remaining 6 tracks that I feel do the best job of advertising that this is a record worth your time. Of course, if you're going into this blind without any prior knowledge, then it won't really mean anything to you, as they're all new songs at that point. I'd been sort of weaning myself on the singles as they were being drip-fed out, so hearing the remaining cuts on Take Me Back to Eden has helped to give some perspective to the initial salvo, and allowed me to understand just why Vessel made the decision to release so much of this album prior to the full unveiling. So, what else can I say about Sleep Token's Take Me Back to Eden? This record is weird. Impossible to accurately describe, and even harder to decide if this is the best thing I've heard all year, or the worst. There have been many moments while I've been listening to this album that I've completely bought into the lore, completely surrendered myself to Vessel's world, and enjoyed this more than anything else that's come out this year so far. But there are other times where I found the tonal inconsistency and the constant seesawing of genres and moods to be a little aggravating, where I wish Vessel would just find a line and stick to it for more than one song. I'm all for variety, I love a record to go on a journey, but there were moments on Take Me Back to Eden where I felt the journey was being done just for the sake of it, rather than with any grand purpose or ideology. Again, this could very well be the point, But then I guess maybe I will always be but a peripheral fan of this singularly unique, endlessly fascinating project. So, what's the bottom line? What's the recommendation on this one? Now this is the tricky bit, and I'm going to go out on a limb here and advise that you stream this one first. This is such an unusual record that covers so many moods and ideas that to flat out recommend that you buy this one straight up in any format is a difficult sell. There's going to be stuff on this album that you'll love. There's going to be stuff that you don't love. But that's fine. I think ultimately I will be buying this one in physical format just because a band with this kind of commitment to their own legacy and ideas has to be commended. And I kind of like the idea of sending my money to the vessel. This, guys, of course, is very much just my opinion, as you know, so if you have listened to this record, please tell me what you thought about it in the comments down below. If there's anything else coming out this year you think I should check out, please do let me know about it. I'd love to get around to giving it my own thoughts. If you did like this video, please do share it around with anyone else who you think would enjoy it, and please do consider subscribing to the channel for some more content. If you really like what I do, please also consider clicking my Ko-fi link in the description box down below. And until next time, guys, as always, forever and ever, keep your rhyme signatures odd.